Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the WTC Jack of All Trades post show, and we are joined by a very special guest. In fact, the man who won this last episode. It's K-Zone. K-Zone, congratulations on your victory here today.
Thanks, man.
And, you had some stiff competition going up against Adam Pearson, who's been a multi-time guest on Quizlemania, Mike Genoa, who has his own media shares, and a former combat wrestling trivia champion in Andrew Hayes. So you had a stack lineup that you faced off against, and you were up to the challenge, winning and heading to the championship match.
Yeah, it was fun. Obviously, we took a significant lead after the Code Breakers round, which is actually my favorite little wordplay. So I had fun with that one. But yeah, it's interesting because every round has its own dynamics. Because some of them I feel like anybody can get points on, and then some of them, like, if you're good at it, you'll crush it, and if you're not, you're going to fall behind. Especially like in the team format of that particular round.
Yeah, the team format makes it tough. You need to be paired up with the right person in that round. I feel like that kind of decides a lot of contests, one way or the other. Brett Storm has a comment which I was very fascinated to learn about during the course of the show. He says he lit up at that arm wrestling round because I got made fun of a lot for doing that with my hands too. So knowing that someone else does that is amazing. I legitimately did not know anybody else in the world did that. So to find somebody who not only has done that, but has been on the show before is just incredible. And yes, that was one of my favorite rounds to do. Very transparent of me to bring something like that up, but I'm glad it was well enjoyed.
Totally. Even though I sucked at it for the most part.
You did all right. There were a couple of mistakes, but some of those are harder than others. True.
Yeah, I think I thought the first one was a stunner, but that came later. So maybe that was to my advantage because then it was already on my mind.
Yeah, I'm realizing, even though I've only done it a couple of times, it gets harder and harder to find moves that not only look good, but I say a couple of times because, as you know, no spoilers otherwise, that is around in the championship show. I guess that is a spoiler now that you know one of the rounds for the championship show. But having done it a couple times, it gets harder and harder to find moves that not only look good, but that actually look like the move that it's supposed to represent.
Yeah, there's only a handful of moves that are really that distinctive that you can really, right? Pun intended, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, so like you're probably going to run the well dry pretty quickly on that particular round. But
yeah, I'm going to try not to do that one every round or every game, which fortunately after the championship show, we're only doing the show once a month, which will make it easier to do because doing 5 shows in a month span is very difficult. Josh Mansfield says 3 qualifiers down, 1 to go. Everyone doing this is awesome for putting themselves out there for this. And Josh, you did pretty well with that team round. And obviously K-Zone did as well because he's sitting here. He's moving on to the championship and facing off against 2 formidable opponents, Daisy Ruth and Russell Talks Andy Datson. It's definitely going to be a fun ride for the 3 of you.
It's a doozy.
It definitely is. And next week, I don't have the graphic yet. I'm going to be transparent again. I was really bad about getting the show up this week because I went to work this morning and realized, oh, hey, I didn't upload the show. And it goes live at 5, and I don't get home till 4. Good job, Greg. So fortunately, my lovely wife, who is amazing, got the show uploaded for me. I gave her instructions on how to set it up for the premiere. And so thank you to Jen for doing that for me. Because
first time, was that her first time doing it?
Yes, it was.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, uploading to YouTube, especially the way I like it done, is a slightly complicated process. So thank you, Jen, for getting that up on time because otherwise I would not have been able to do it because I'm a doofus.
Good job, Jen.
Yes.
Way to be there for the hubby.
It's very much appreciated. Because, of course, today wasn't a work from home day. This was a day I was in the office. But to each their own. I'll be better prepared next week, and especially for the championship match. But
sure.
Next week, we got another stack lineup. I don't have the names. I don't have the graphic up, but I'll promote it on the Greg Cherry Show on Wednesday, who we're going to have on the show. And it'll be also up on Twitter at Greg Cherry Brand a couple days in advance if you want to find out who's going to be in the final qualifier. Now, I leave the guys in the chat. Who do you think of the three has the best chance of winning the WTC championship? Do you think it's Daisy? Do you think it's Andy? Or do you think it's K-Zone? It's a tough call amongst the three of them. And we don't know who the fourth person is yet, so it makes it even tougher. And Josh says that he's got to root for his team round partner, Andy Datson. I mean, that's fair. You want to root for the people who beat you, because then it makes you look a little bit stronger. It's like, okay, this guy won it all, so I'm not ashamed to lose that.
Right. Yeah. That tends to be the bias. I feel like Daisy's the underdog.
Daisy is absolutely the underdog. I don't feel like many people, including herself, thought she was going to come out of that episode victorious, but she proved everybody wrong, and it could be a stunner on July 29th here in a couple weeks that Daisy Ruth could potentially, she has a 1 in 4 chance of walking out as the very first ever WTC Jack of all trades champion. But K-Zone, you have that same chance, as does Andy Datson, as does the winner of next week's match. Josh says, again, Daisy terrifies me, and I feel like I should be scared for not rooting for her. Well, you mess with a Steelers fan, you know what you get, Josh. He's a Browns fan, so I can make that joke. But yeah, K-Zone, thank you very much. I know it was a very brief post-show to go over everything. And
for sure.
And Brett also says, I don't know who is most likely to win, but I will also root for Andy, who also beat Brett, also lost to Andy, because it puts me over stronger. It does. That's definitely the way it goes. So I'm sure Adam Pearson, Mike Janela, and Andrew Hayes are all rooting for you in the championship round, which we will see you again in 2 weeks for that, K-Zone. So thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you very much for joining us on the post show. I will see you in 2 weeks. And everybody, check out next week's episode of the WTC Jack of all trades and the Greg Cherry Show on Wednesday to see who's on the show. Until then, have a good night, everybody.
K-Zone out.